Donata, and Out of the Oven, LLC. And Chantel?
Yeah, my name is Amon Chantal Nda. I'm the owner and manager of Out of the Oven Bakery.
Okay.
I am Susan Dowd, and I am the defendant.
And I'm Trey McIntyre, and I'm also a defendant.
Okay. So I understand that there's an agreement that's been reached. And Mr. Reagan, if you want to go ahead and state the agreement that's been reached, and then we'll go ahead and put them on the record to affirm that, okay?
Your Honor, the agreement that the Ms. Dana has from with and the corporation or the LLC has with Ms. Babb is that until time of trial, until this case is finally adjudicated, whether by trial or settlement, she will not erase any materials that are on her cell phone, any emails, any text messages, or any other materials that are on the cell phone or in any computer that she owns or has control of, or any cloud storage facility that she may have access to.
Okay.
The agreement is also that Mr. McIntyre will not attempt to aid her in erasing any items of any of those similar items. But I want Mr. McIntyre to state on the record that he does not own a personal cell phone or a personal computer or has access to a personal cloud storage unit.
I have a personal phone, but it's not hooked up to, like, I don't use it. It's just sitting in a drawer. So it's not hooked up to a plan or anything. It hasn't been for some time. So I do own a personal phone, but it's not one that is used for anything, and it hasn't been used in, I don't know, 6-8 months. So I just want it to be known that I do actually own one, but I don't use one, and I do not have a personal laptop of any kind. So.
And I think the one other thing that's important to understand, Mr. McIntyre, is that you represented that you use a cell phone that is provided by your company, Maxim, which provides explosives, I guess, as well as a computer. I would urge you to, and the plaintiff's attorney has very kindly agreed not to try to do a forensic examination or ask for an injunction involving those devices. But if you do start posting things about the plaintiff's business on those devices, then there may have to be an injunction and a forensic examination of those devices. The court is not saying that you cannot do posts, but if you're going to do posts or anonymously post things or things like that, and you use those devices, they could be open to further inspection if you do that. Does that make sense?
Yes, I understand.
All right, so I'm going to swear you each in, and then I'm going to ask you to affirm that you have agreed to this injunction and what we've discussed. So, Ms. Babb, if you could raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give shall the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes, Your Honor.
And do you agree to the injunction that Mr. Reagan just discussed?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. McIntyre, if you could raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony I'm about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
And you have sworn, I guess, that you do not currently use a personal cell phone or personal computer, that all of your, you use something provided by your company, and but you do own a cell phone, but it's not currently being used. Is that correct?
It hasn't been hooked up in, I mean, at least the better part of a year, six months at least.
And I assume
I do not use it.
Have you used that cell phone to do any type of posts about the plaintiff?
No.
Okay.
You can't make
Is there
calls on it. Sorry, sir.
Oh, we can't hear you again.
Mr. Reagan, can you hear me?
I can hear you, Your Honor.
So is there anything else you'd like to put on the record?
No, Your Honor, we, on behalf of the plaintiff, we agree to what the court recited and what I mentioned in Ms. Babb's agreement and Mr. McIntyre's statements.
Great, perfect. Anything else we need to discuss on the record before we go off the record?
Not from the plaintiff.
Defendants?
No,
No.
sir.
All right, we're going off the record at this point. Just try to get me